My cheating wife is mad that I told the girlfriend of her affair partner all the truth. Here is some background information. I was able to get my wife to admit to an emotional affair she was having around 3 weeks ago. She refused to end the affair, which continues to this day. I was doing the Choose Me dance for almost 2 weeks before deciding to 180. Part of my 180 was notifying A.P's girlfriend about the affair. My wife was furious with me for that one. She further said that AP intended to knock me up over it. My wife and AP have been pretending not to communicate since then in order to save face with his GF. They unfollowed one other on social media, but I have strong proof that the affair is still continuing, as well as substantial evidence that the affair has tragically become physical. Here's where I'm right now. It took me a long to grasp that if AP is involved, no reconciliation can occur. I've finally accepted it, and the only thing left to do now is serve papers. I'm going to make every effort to meet a lawyer as soon as this week and get papers served as soon as feasible. So, should I inform A.P's partner once more, or should I seek legal counsel? I can't believe I've reached this stage in my marriage. I would never have thought this would happen a month ago. Our marriage had been wonderful up until this point. We never left one another's sides. We had fantastic sex. We went on dates every weekend, and we always had each other's backs no matter what. I've done all in my ability to ensure she's had a wonderful existence. After knowing him for around 2 months, my wife established an emotional relationship with a man she met at the gym then met at a party. In addition, I'd like to point out that this gentleman has 3 separate gym memberships with different clubs. Despite being challenged about it, she refused to discontinue her relationship with him. She says she is head over heels in love with him, and the two have exchanged amorous messages and nudies in return. But until this person joined the scene, she made it clear that she hadn't loved me in a long time and that AP makes me feel like a woman. However, the love seemed real until this person entered the scene. Since meeting this man, she's transformed into a completely different person, cold, bitter, and completely disinterested in me. After 2 weeks of doing the pick-me dance, I eventually admitted my feelings for her and came to the conclusion that it's either him or me. I have no idea what I want, she said. I stormed out of the house, informed my parents and in-laws of her presence, and called A.P's GF on the phone. In the aftermath of this, my wife grew upset and shouted at me, "You're for notifying our family." When she realized I had notified APGF, she went mad, yelling, pushing, and hurling things at me. I managed to get away. She then started telling me that we're done, and that we don't have a hope in the world. The investigation is still underway. Wife and AP pretended to be no longer in a relationship in order to get AP girlfriend off his back. Because he and AP are so in love, why isn't WW abandoning his GF? Since then, I put my 180-degree turn into action. Text messages between WW and AP have also been uncovered where they discuss what their kid could look like, going on outings with friends, and the affair getting physical. I decided that it was time to call it quits and filed for divorce with my husband. She will be taken completely by surprise by paperwork in around 10 days. She'd probably never expect me to do anything like this, which is a good thing in this case. To convince her that I am serious and that I am not merely a backup plan, I must demonstrate my commitment to her. Upon her conviction, I aim to go nuclear, alerting her family about her recent activities with AP, presenting evidence of continued affair and physicality of affair to APGF, revoking her gym membership, separating my money from our joint account, and ordering her to leave the home. She is serving me and doing all of these things, and I'm afraid of them. But I know that they are important to find to be able to clear the fog from my vision. My hope is that detonating an atomic bomb on my marriage would save it, but I'm prepared to accept the worst-case scenario as well. In my state, spouses must be apart for a period of 6 months before divorce may be finalized. It occurs to me that if she does not return for me within that time frame and make the improvements I need of her, there is nothing I can do. If that is the outcome, it will be challenging, but I will be okay and will become stronger as a result of the experience. Update: when I first wrote this post, approximately a month and a half ago, I believed I was through with the pick-me dance, but upon reflection, I was absolutely not. I had hoped that having her served would finally bring her to consciousness, but that was not the case. She was relieved as a result of the divorce. Similarly to what I said in my previous post, in my state, following the first filing, the couple must be separated for a period of 6 months before the legal proceedings may begin. I decided against going completely nuclear in order to avoid ruffling any feathers. Take heed to folks on this sub who advise you to divorce while WS is in a fair fog because you'll get a better deal. She provided me with our house, our dog, and pretty much everything else I could have asked for. She also agreed to sign a court order prohibiting her from bringing a spousal support lawsuit against me. She has moved as of today. It was, without a doubt, the most bittersweet moment I'd ever had. On the one hand, living with her for the previous 2 months had been a living hell, and on the other, she had been a wonderful friend. A key chapter in my life, on the other hand, seems to be drawing to a close, according to my observations. As she went away, I cried uncontrollably, but I knew it was all for the better. She and AP are still chatting and flirting, and he is still with his current girlfriend, GF. Wife is as innocent as they come and is still neck-deep in the fog of inexperience. I'm still amazed by how infidelity can completely change a person's outlook on life. Despite the fact that we had been married for 11 years, my wife was without a doubt my closest friend. We had a lot of plans for the future, which we discussed. Once AP entered the scene, she couldn't tolerate the sight of me. The final 2 months of our relationship were difficult for her because she disliked me and couldn't stand being near me, and I was much more friendly than I should have been. You'd be forgiven for thinking I was the one who cheated, hee. I'm coming to terms with the fact that she was a narcissist who went unnoticed for a long time. When I published my first blog entry, I was a jumbled mix of emotions. I was unable to eat or sleep, and I spent the most of my time lying in bed feeling miserable. The progress I'd made in the last month and a half has been incredible. I'm feeling much better now. I still regret what might have been and what could have been, but it no longer fills the majority of my thoughts. IC has been quite beneficial. Besides going to the gym and soliciting assistance from family and friends, I've been reviving my previous activities. I've also planned a few of new hobbies that I'm really looking forward to trying out. In light of the fact that she cannot legally sue me for spousal support, I came to the conclusion that finding new and better paying employment would be a nice change of pace for me. I've scheduled a pair of interviews, both of which seem to be extremely promising. Also, a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has contributed to this sub. Your stories and advice have been crucial in my recovery. After realizing how close I'd been to experiencing the worst of what would turn out to be one of the most awful experiences of my life, I was overcome with a strange sense of confidence and fearlessness that I'd never experienced before. This period of separation will serve as a new beginning for me. In my life, I have the ability to direct events in whichever manner I see appropriate. I've never felt more in control of my life than I do right now. I'm not sure what the next 6 months will have in store for me, but I'm certain that I'll continue to develop into the best version of myself throughout them. Any BS out there who are struggling, no matter how much they gaslight, blame shift, or rewrite history, I was subjected to all of this till she moved out. Remember that cheating is not your fault, and you are sufficient in your own right. Your WS may have sought to address any relationship difficulties with you, or he or she may have just ended the relationship as an adult. They chose the choice that was the most insensitive, immature, and cowardly. WS are weak individuals who have significant flaws in their character. The good news is that you can come out of this alive, and that you can heal in a very short amount of time. This may be some of the most broad advice on this sub, but remember to take things one day at a time and to focus only on your own needs. Putting in the effort to focus only on oneself is an example. It is fully and completely effective.